What's the biggest promise your parents ever broke? I was 15 when my parents promised my little brother wouldn't face his illness alone. They sat us down at the kitchen table like it was a family meeting. My brother Noah was 10 at the time, small for his age, legs dangling off the chair. He had been born with a severe heart condition, but until then it had mostly meant medication, checkups, and restrictions on sports. That day, everything changed. The cardiologist told us Noah would need multiple surgeries, not one, not two, a series. Long hospital stays, a lot of uncertainty. My mom cried immediately. My dad put his arm around Noah and said, "We're going to fight this together." Then they looked at me. "No matter what," my dad said, "one of us will always be there with him." My mom nodded. "You won't ever be alone in that hospital." At the time, I believed them. And for a while, they kept their word. The first surgery was terrifying, but my parents were everywhere. They slept in shifts, they asked nurses questions, they learned how to read monitors. Doctors praised them for being so involved. Family friends told us how lucky Noah was. I felt proud of them. But hospitals have a way of wearing people down. By the second surgery, things started to slip. My dad would miss morning rounds because of work calls. My mom would leave early saying she needed air or that she couldn't handle seeing him like this. They always promised they'd be back. Sometimes they were. Often they weren't. I started staying later, then overnight. I learned how to pull the chair close enough to hold Noah's hand without setting off alarms. I learned which nurses were kind and which ones were strict. I learned that if Noah got scared, talking about his favorite video game helped slow his breathing. I was 16, doing homework on hospital floors. My parents still came, just not consistently. When they did, they looked exhausted, overwhelmed. They'd ask me what the doctors said instead of asking the doctors themselves. "It's just too much," my mom admitted once. "I feel like I'm going to fall apart in there." I didn't know what to say. I didn't have the option to fall apart. One night during Noah's third surgery recovery, everything went wrong. His heart rate dropped suddenly. The room filled with people. Machines beeped louder than I thought possible. A nurse gently moved me aside, but I could still see everything. I called my parents. No answer. I called again and again. I left voicemails I don't remember recording. By the time they arrived, 2 hours later, Noah was stable. Barely. My mom collapsed into a chair and cried about how scared she'd been driving there. My dad kept saying traffic was insane. Noah didn't wake up until the next morning. After that night, something changed in him. He stopped asking where our parents were. Instead, he asked me, "You're staying, right?" I always said yes. By junior year, my life was split into two places, school and the cardiac wing. My grades slipped, my friends stopped inviting me places, I missed dances, birthdays, weekends. My parents started going out more. They said they needed normalcy. They posted pictures from dinners, movies, short trips. People commented about how strong they were, how much they deserved a break. I'd be in a hospital room, holding a bag while Noah threw up, scrolling past those photos. The worst part came during Noah's transplant recovery. The doctors were very clear. Someone needed to be with him 24/7 for 3 weeks. No exceptions. My parents promised we'd rotate shifts. They lasted 4 days. Day 5, my mom called saying she was emotionally exhausted. Day 6, my dad had an important meeting. After that, they just stopped coming. I stayed all 3 weeks. I slept on a cot. I showered in the family bathroom down the hall. I learned how to track fluid intake and signs of rejection. Nurses assumed I was the parent. I didn't correct them. When Noah was finally discharged, my parents threw a dinner for relatives.
They talked about how hard the past year had been on them. They thanked everyone for the support. That night, Noah asked me quietly, "Do you think I would have died if you weren't there?" I told him no. I wasn't sure. I moved out as soon as I turned 18. I worked instead of going to college. I saved everything. 2 years later, I filed for legal guardianship. My parents were furious. They said I was rewriting history, that trauma had confused me, that they'd done their best. In court, the judge asked them simple questions. Who was Noah's primary cardiologist? What medications was he on? What complications had occurred post-transplant? They couldn't answer. I got custody. Noah moved in with me that month. 5 years later, my mom called crying. My dad had suffered a stroke. She didn't know how to manage appointments, medications, rehab schedules. She said, "We need you. Family has to show up." I met them at the hospital. When the nurse called my dad's name, I stood up, gathered my things, and said, "I hope someone stays with you." Then I walked out. That night, Noah and I made dinner together and talked about his plans to become a cardiac nurse. He said he wants to be the person who doesn't leave.